Hi, in this video, we are discussing about a secure method of installation of electricity prepaid meters, which are not split prepaid meters. This method makes it not easy for one to bypass the prepaid meter. We shall be installing this prepaid meter to this old DB for a tenant. The switch to this meter is not accessible to the tenant, but it is accessible only to the landlord. The following meter was installed for a room. The power input to the meter was made so as to terminate directly in the meter, and the switch to this meter is not accessible to the tenant. The tenant can only access switches of prepaid meter output. The hexing prepaid meter will be installed below this old 12-way electrical distribution board. This is our choosing point for the prepaid meter position. Should there be no conduits hidden here, we shall dig a short trench about 90% of the meter height following the rectangular line. Open the DB cover and thoroughly inspect if there are any conduits hidden in the wall behind our choosing space for the prepaid meter position. The steel conduits are near the sides of this DB, but not in the center as indicated by two white arrows. Also, the pipes are too deep in the wall for the reach of our wall anchors or fishshare plugs. This is an extra conduit hole which can be used for running our 4 wires from DB to the prepaid meter.
Let your drilling machine be cordless. Switch off the input power to this DB. If your drilling machine is not cordless, then with caution, create a conduit trench in the wall as shown here. Must be able to insert a PVC lock-in adapter and a pipe in the indicated hole below the DB. Insert a 20 mm PVC lock-in male adapter here, with a 20 mm sprog. Small piece of conduit with the 10 SQMM input and output GP wires is inserted as indicated here in the trench, which will be behind the meter on a brick wall. This bottom set of 4 wires, it is the mains input and output of the prepaid meter. These wires are from the house main DB, the red for live and blue for neutral. After they are off, remove them from the earth leakage unit. They are to be connected directly to the prepaid meter input. This is the hexing type prepaid meter which is being installed for single-phase 12-way electrical distribution board. Prepaid meter temper seal. Remember to remove the prepaid meter clear cover for wall mounting it and for connections. This is the position of the meter. These wires run behind the meter. These 4 bottom wire ends are to be connected to meter screw connectors. One pair of black and red it is for prepaid meter input, while the other pair of black and red is for prepaid meter output. Red wires are for live, while the black wires are for neutral. The following diagram is a connection circuit, specifically for this installation of this prepaid meter. Prepaid meter. The prepaid meter input is connected to the main DB away from the tenant. The main DB, that is where the circuit breaker to the meter is seated. The output of the prepaid meter is directly connected to the earth leakage unit, where the power from the house was originally connected before the installation. Mounted the prepaid meter on the right position. Before connecting the prepaid meter, switch off all mains simply from the landlord side. These 4 GP wires, one red is for input live, and one black is for input neutral. Mark these wires accordingly and connect them as follows. Connected and reasonably tighten the mains inputs and output wires in the meter. You may proceed to connect the wires to the DB. May remove the input wires to the earth leakage unit and join them to the prepaid meter input rather. Please connect the meter inputs to the originally tenant DB input. that is the original earth leakage unit input. dB input is from the main dB, which can be accessed by the landlord only. Connect the red from the main dB to the red input of the prepaid meter and connect the blue from the main dB to the black input of the prepaid meter. Please use the rules and heat shrink for these. Earth leakage unit is also the main switch of this sub-dB. Its upper connections are regarded as the load of the prepaid meter. The input wires from the main dB have been removed to connect them to the input to prepaid meter. The prepaid meter output will then be connected to the earth leakage unit, where the mains red and blue wires were connected. After you have finished making your connections, and you have joined all wires as necessary, check if all connections and studs are reasonably tight. Check if all wires are properly insulated. Use cable ties to bundle your wires. Now you may use provided screw to close the meter connections with its clear lid. Are you sure the prepaid meter is now properly connected and its lid closed? You may switch the power to the meter, and if the meter does have few units of credits from its supplier, testing with your multimeter on earth leakage unit, you should get a 220 to 240 volts on prepaid meter output. Satisfied? Then you may close your sub-dB. If you are satisfied with everything, you may put the meter temper seal on the meter. Please note that you must never switch on power to a prepaid meter with open connections.